Hello everybody, thank you for joining me and welcome to my alpha world. This is my boat highway. Not pretty, but it's a little bit of old alpha technology that allows me to achieve basically the same speed as a minecart without spending any iron, so it's pretty effective. This over here is my quarry. That's the whole point of this thing, is to take me from one base over there to this base. The thing is that I had to come out in a straight line and it doesn't quite line up with the quarry. So what I want to do over, some period of time is to build a building here to receive this, a proper station, and then maybe make a little plaza or a pathway or another minecart that just takes me over there. This quarry is super useful. It just serves as a way for me to get lots and lots of stone. That building right there is the minecart station. And that building right there is a storehouse for the extras, usually just dirt. I never mine enough stone at a time to have a surplus of it, unfortunately. Over here is the quarry. And I made a decent dent here. I feel like this is about 5% of the entire thing. Been mining away, getting lots of stone whenever I need it. And alpha, stone's a pretty fancy building block, especially smooth stone. Back in the day when people wanted to kind of show sophistication and wealth, they smelted cobblestone into stone. Because it required a little bit of effort, building with stone slabs was equally fancy. Stone slabs in this version are actually only crafted with cobblestone though. It's a little dark now. But over there, I don't have a good view of it, do I? There needs to be some kind of receiving station over there. And there isn't. I need to have some kind of end way station there to protect me from mobs and that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab some of my cobblestone that I have mined. I'll grab one stack of dirt just in case I need it. Here we got some. I'll be honest, mining cobblestone in alpha feels a lot more special than it does in modern, simply because it takes a little bit longer. Alpha really just kind of makes you work for the stuff that you want. There's a better view of it over there. I want to put a little train station over there. But yeah, alpha makes you work for what you want. A little harder than you do in modern. There's no real easy way to farm things. Hence the giant quarry. Oh, come here, pig. Yeah, my goal is to make some kind of building for this sort of thing. And I'm not really sure what to do. I probably need to clear out some more land around it. So I abused some old bugs in alpha to get this water to float like this. The water's flowing out into another solid block of water, which I created by melting ice. So if you melt ice in alpha, it won't update, it won't flow. And if the water's already flowing on top of it, I melt the ice, remove the surrounding blocks holding that water stream in place, then it stays still just like this. It allows me to ride a boat on it. Pretty cool stuff. But I don't want to mess with it, I don't want to touch it. So I think what I should do is kind of make like a tunnel that's meant to receive this entire thing. Like dig this out just a little bit and build like a protective tunnel around it. I don't want it to break. That's kind of my idea. Also, there's no shift clicking, so I gotta click everything manually. And honestly, I'm pretty much completely used to it. Anyway, here's kind of my idea. I'm gonna make a little opening right here. I'm gonna have these coming down all the way to, I don't know, about the end right there. I don't know what to do. I'm just kind of making it up as I go along, and that's another thing I really liked about this version is that it's very forgiving if you don't plan out your build ahead of time. I feel like in modern Minecraft, I was always just like planning my builds in creative, obsessing over little details because I wanted it to look right, There's a lot of competition, If you ever go on the Minecraft subreddit, you ever go to Twitter, YouTube, whatever, everyone's building all these amazing things, and I think it builds this little bit of subconscious bias that you have to be building something a certain way, you have to be planning, you have to be making something amazing. I think it just kind of creates a subconscious expectation that you need to do more. But in alpha, that just doesn't exist, at least for me. So I don't have to worry about making something super fancy. I get plenty satisfied just building like this. And whatever it is, the version, the lighting, the textures, I just feel like it makes everything look so much better. Look at this room. Something about this. I love this room. I love the fast lighting. I don't know, just something really cool about it. On top of the rail station, I have a bunch of furnaces. Honestly, there's so many furnaces in here, I never use them, but I feel like I probably should. Okay, 4 stacks. That's good for now. Ta-da! This is my boat elevator. I showed it off a minute ago. Yeah, boats have this neat feature where they'll just rise straight up through flowing water no matter what. So it makes a really useful elevator. Just like this. It's probably an easier way to get up and down, but this is pretty fun, I like it. Also, if you're wondering why there's this big chunk error here, it's because I changed my world seed. I changed it so I could have monoliths spawn in my world. If you don't know what monoliths are, I'll show you a picture of one right here. It's this really cool alpha terrain bug that just seemingly lifts sections of the land up to the height limit. I don't know why, I don't know what causes it, but it's super cool. I feel like there should be some dirt underneath this just to avoid lighting errors. Let's do that really quickly. I think someday in the future I need to improve this mechanism. I don't know, it's just not very pretty. I was obsessed with the idea of only using a single door to make this work and also keeping all my redstone above the ground, not having any go underneath the ground. You might be wondering why that is, and I'll show you. So first, when I ride this, it activates that pressure plate, which opens that door, obviously. Oop. Sorta. Okay. Yeah, we don't want to do that. I'm totally stuck down here. Oh no. Alright. Yeah, there's some kinks that need to be working out. I know it's because I bumped the boat, but I want to make a design where it's not possible for me to bump the boat, you know? I'm gonna have to reload the whole machine. Let me make a boat. I don't know if anybody remembers the old boats, but they break so easy. Alright, now it's in place. Being very careful. Here we go. But yeah, this is the coolest thing. Oh, that cow could have really messed me up. We do get a really nice view of the quarry and the storehouse. I think that's pretty neat. That's why I want the little station, the little end station over there to be another skyscraper. I just feel like it would fit in this area, you know what I mean? Anyway, over here, and it's not too far, is my painting museum. And it has the exact same mechanism on the other side. Equally ugly. Maybe you noticed, as I came into the station, the boat that was sitting here got released. So that means there's always a boat on either end of the mechanism, meaning I don't have to, I don't know, take it with me, or which I can anyways, because boats will just break. But it just means that I don't have to load this in with boats or anything like that, unless I do something stupid and break it. But yeah, hopping in the boat activates this door, releasing it. That door actually swings on its hinge this way, but that allows the boat to phase through it. And then it releases it. It's all lined up and ready to go. So when a boat comes in, it hits this pressure plate, which opens up the door again, releasing the boat that's already right there. And then, you know, I come all the way over here, and then I get stuck at this door, and then I can get out, and that kind of thing. This is the painting museum. This is where it leads to. And right underneath this mechanism is one of the painting exhibits. So I can't put any redstone underneath here. You know, it's kind of a tight fit, so I challenged myself to get it all in one layer and only use one door, and because that was pretty ugly. But yeah, dang, look at that, it looks really cool. But yeah, I came over here for a reason. And it's not just to show you this awesome museum. I mean, that's part of the reason, but I came over here to get some glass that's sitting in this chest left over from building this thing, because I need to make windows. Here we go. And today's Cinco de Mayo. I had a fajita. Alright, I just went hunting so I can get some pork. Because I'm pretty much out of food. I haven't taken the time to go get some food lately. But yeah, anyway, we're almost done with these, so let me just grab them now. You know, this really isn't a proper exit for this thing. That's another thing about this station, is that I want to add a proper entrance over there. There's an entire basement to that building, and I have nothing in it, at least at the moment. So I need to have some kind of foyer or something that allows me to get from this building to that building quick and easy. You know what I mean? Oh! Oh! Wow. That was dramatic. Good thing I ate that pork a moment ago. Like I was saying earlier, stone was kind of a symbol of sophistication back in the day. So I'm going to make some good use of it in this build. See if I can hit that pig. Huh. Like the water's messing up my aim. Anyway, I think it would be cool to have like these cobblestone things coming across and then kind of arcing upward a little bit. So let me build that up. Alright, cool. There's a little arch. I'm going to build a few more of these. Oh, okay, alright. I need to make a detour. I'm being irresponsible. I say this all the time, but I wish fishing existed in this version. But it wasn't added yet, and only fishing rods were. I can make a fishing rod, but it doesn't do anything. Oh, right, we're in trouble. Yeah, see? This exists as a novelty, nothing more. Look, I'm even holding it backwards. Yeah, it's just an item. Oh, we have a guest in our garden. Here, you can have it. Let's see. 1 pork chop. That is not enough. I do hear a pig somewhere, though. Let's go hunting. Oh, here we go. Nice. And you know, while I'm at it, all these sheep are right here. Yeah, no shears necessary whatsoever. Alright, the easiest way to cook pork chops is to just use wood. And that's because, you know, you have to take into account the time that it takes to swap these out and that kind of stuff. Okay, I accidentally made a little bit of a mess while jumping off of one of these arches and using a water bucket to break my fall. I accidentally updated one of these water streams, and so I put down this dirt to fix it because I need to force the water to flow into this hole and then remove the dirt without updating it. So it'll stay up like this. In doing that, I forgot that this is a snow world. It's constantly snowing, and when snow lands on the dirt, it also updates the water next to it and so on and so forth. So that caused me some issues and also disturbed the water that these flow into. So basically what I have to do is to remove the glass above it. Ice can't freeze without sky access. This is true even in modern. That's still not frozen, which maybe there's a torch nearby preventing it from freezing. Is there one down here? Nope, not one that I see. There it goes. Yeah, let me show you how I fix this. Yeah, so the first thing I need to do, really, is put a dirt roof on top of this so that I don't have snow accidentally fall on the blocks between these. Certainly inconvenient, but also necessary. Yeah, we're fixing 2 over here and 1 on this side. Let's do that real quick. Let me place the first one. It's going to flow into there. Now I'll unblock this. I'll place this one slightly differently because I don't want it to flow back into here and mess that one up. So I'm going to break this block. That'll flow right there. And then if I place this, it'll flow over. Except that needs to be glass, not cobblestone. Oops. We got one more to place right here. The same method applies. Let's do this. I hate breaking glass, but I have to. Place the glass back. There we go. Now this is all in place. What I can do next is completely remove this part here. Okay, maybe not right there. The next thing we have to do is melt all this ice. So I'm just going to place blocks here, there. Those ones are thawed out, which means I can remove these. It will update that water stream. But since the water stream knows it's flowing down into another water, it won't try to flow outward. Meaning I can remove this safely. And there we go. All fixed. It just took me, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes to patch my mistake. This is why I need to be careful when building this thing. Okay, now that I have all these arches up over these things, I need to fill in these walls. And that's just going to be some simple stone placing with maybe a nice little trim of stone slabs at the bottom. I think that would be cool. Oh! Someone has other plans. Please don't kill me. Alright, let's fill these walls in. Had to cook a little bit more stone. I just took a break and went on a walk with my dog to the woods nearby. And it's real pretty because the seasons are changing, obviously. We're in early spring. And I just went out to kind of like observe what's going on in the woods with nature. The leaves are coming in. There's a lot of wildflowers out, which are real pretty. And I also found this beautiful mushroom, and I feel like I should know what it's called. It's like pheasant tail or turkey tail or something. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a mushroom expert. There was this one time I found this really weird looking mushroom. It was tall, thin, and I looked it up and apparently it was called lawyer's wig. And it was edible. So after making sure it wasn't like some kind of lookalike, I picked it, I cooked it up and put it into pasta. It was pretty good. It kind of tastes like a lion's mane a little bit, if anyone's ever had fresh lion's mane. Oh, this is the worst place for me to fall. Oh no. Anyway, it just kind of makes me curious, like, any mushroom experts know if this one's supposed to be tasty? Because if so, I might go out there and grab it. I'll give my mom a heart attack, but it'll be tasty. Not really into foraging or anything like that, but I kind of like the idea of it, like being able to go out and find food instead of, I don't know, just go to the grocery store. I mean, I love going to the grocery store. It's one of my favorite things to do. Believe it or not, I'm not that interesting. But going outside is already nice, especially now with all the birds singing and the plants are blooming. But being able to find food while you're out there, it's kind of like rewarding in a way, or maybe it just kind of tickles a primitive part of my brain, you know what I mean? Something like that? I don't know. Downside is the mosquitoes are out in full force, especially after all the rain that we've been having over here. This might be controversial, but I don't really like mosquitoes. All right, well, here we are. This is kind of our little tube. Check this out. So when we enter here, it'll look like this. I think that's pretty cool. A little random, but I think it's neat. Maybe I should organize these torches though, huh? Okay, yeah, there we go. It's a little bit nicer. Ooh, pigs. Don't mind if I do. Oh no! Oh no! I have to run all the way down there. Yeah, I can't have more than one boat at one end at a time, otherwise it's gonna mess things up. See, I really need to fix this. Gosh. And while I'm down here, I should really pick up some coal or something. And some more stone if I have it. Yeah, see, they smashed into each other and they broke. And, you know, that's bad for business. So now I gotta put in 2 more. Alright. One boat goes there. Give it a push. I'm gonna simulate stepping on this thing. There it goes. One more. Okay, boom. Now it's all fixed. Yeah, well, I guess since I'm here, might as well take advantage of the opportunity. I do like the sun being out more, but I also don't mind when it's kind of cloudy. Just because I'm a redhead, you know, and I burn really, really easily. I went canoeing with my girlfriend last week, and it was a great trip. It was sunny the whole time. It was like literally 2.5 hours long. That's it. And I got burned so bad. And, I mean, I put sunscreen on. I mean, probably not enough. Man, I can't even survive being in direct sunlight for 2.5 hours. So cloudy conditions are what I thrive in, you know? Nope, don't go in there. All right. He's gonna root up all the sugarcane. I have some pigs in real life. I have 4 pigs, you know, and they like to dig up roots and stuff. Okay, yeah, I'm glad I came over because I really did need some food. My food chest over here is also empty. Look at that. Let's see if we have any stone over here. Yeah, we have a few. I'm not gonna take it all. And some coal. Nice. Just like I was talking about cobblestone earlier. Food's the same way in Alpha, you know, you really kind of have to work for it. I feel like this is one of the last versions where food is really balanced to some degree. Because in modern versions, you know, there is a objectively best food, right? I think it's golden carrots. Is that what it is? I think it's golden carrots. That's the best food. Like, you can't top it. Like, once you have access to unlimited golden carrots, there's pretty much no reason to farm any other kind of food or go out of your way to get any other food type. And Alpha, I feel like all the food's balanced, so pigs spawn around the world, but you have to kill them and cook them to get 4 hearts. Also, it's non-stackable. You can grow wheat to make bread. Obviously, growing it takes time, but wheat is stackable, so that means you can carry it around with you. Oh my gosh, look, there's some more. I'm rich. Here, let me make some space by putting them in here. Did I put one in there? Nope. Mushroom stew heals the most at 5 hearts, but you can't grow mushrooms in this version. You can in beta 1.7.3, but mushrooms don't spread in alpha. Unfortunately, I wish they did. But yeah, if you're caving or something and you find both types of mushrooms, then you have a food source, and that can be kind of a godsend sometimes. What other types of foods are there? There's golden apples, I mean, but that's not even on the table. That's so impossibly rare. I mean, it's 1 out of every 100 dungeon chests, I think you'll find a golden apple in. Those odds are crazy. Now that I'm thinking about it, those are the only 3 food types that I believe are in alpha at all. Like, yeah, I think that's probably it. Here are my bears. This one's scared. This one's chill. All right, here we go back up. There's some chickens in my garden. All right, heading back. I wonder if while I'm traveling, I can start some water in the kettle. I'll be right back. Oh no, I'm too late. Oh, what happened? What happened? Ah, man. Yeah, I just took too long, I guess. All right, next thing. I want this to open up a little bit more. It's like a larger room where this is sitting. And I already kind of have an idea of how I want to decorate it. I want the colors to be a little bit brighter, so I'm going to use mostly stone slabs. So that means I need to remove this tree. Here, I'm impatient. Alpha Fire is pretty fun to watch. Especially while sipping this tea. I just made some gen matcha. So it's like this Japanese tea. It's sencha, and then it's like little rice puffs. Super interesting flavor. I mean, it obviously kind of tastes like toasted rice. But something about it, I don't know, I just like it, even though it's not like really a tea flavor. They just go together really well. I just prepared some, you know, I put a little bit of honey just because I just like honey in my tea. You know, 1 teaspoon doesn't really make it overly sweet, so I think it goes together pretty well. I'm enjoying it right now. I would recommend it. It's really different. I first heard of it by another old Minecraft YouTuber called ZX, who also likes tea. He told me about hojicha, which is like, it's like a roasted sencha or something like that. And I recently went to a tea store and I just asked, like, do you have hojicha? And they said, no, but we have gen matcha. So I got some and I don't regret it. It's pretty tasty. It's definitely for someone who's a little bit more of a dedicated tea enthusiast. So if you're not really used to drinking tea, you might not enjoy it. So, fair warning, but I do like it. It's pretty tasty. Alright, here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to make this cobblestone wrap all the way around here. Okay, this is kind of a tight fit. Maybe this room needs to be like, I don't know, twice as long or something. That would push it too far this way. Okay, well, let me extend it this direction instead. I don't want to make this building like unnecessarily big. Even though unnecessarily big buildings are fun, I don't think it would be helpful. I think for most of the builds here, I just kind of go by feeling. Like, I just feel it out. Like, you know, oh, this room needs to be bigger. This needs to be longer. Oh, this needs to be brighter in here. It needs to be darker in here, you know. This room needs more color. This room needs less color. It's that kind of thing. Like, I don't really think about the final product all the time. I more like think about how the final product feels. I find that really helps me not contract builder's paralysis. You guys know what builder's paralysis is? It's like when you get overwhelmed with the choices or you get too stressed out about making the perfect build that you just end up never really making any progress. I suffer from that a lot when I play modern Minecraft, and playing Alpha has been like a little bit of an exercise in freeing myself from that kind of thing. Alright, this is going to be a very long room. That's cool. I like that. I don't really have enough slabs at the moment to kind of completely fill this in, so I'm kind of thinking maybe I just make a fun floor design or something like that, you know? Let's do this. Let's make square right there. Let's make a square right here in every corner. Let's make this outside like a larger square. That'd be cool. Oh wait, I messed the dimensions up. Out of stone. Okay. I'm hearing all kinds of animals over here, but I cannot find them. And I think I know where they are. So this is my minecart rail station. And it uses another minecart to push my minecart that I put down. So it kind of goes like this. Just like that. That's how propulsion works here. Anyway, I made a little service area for that room in the back. Back here, you can kind of see the system. It's pretty simple. The button's right here. It opens up this door, and then that door like lets this minecart clip through and go all the way around and push it. And there's some bugginess where it links up with this minecart side by side, and they kind of propel each other, so it gives it a lot of momentum. This one goes back into place, and that one goes all the way around and makes a complete circuit. So having minecarts kind of like run side by side each other is a way to give it infinite momentum. That's just to explain what this room's for, but there's a secret door back here that goes to the basement of the storage facility, because I never put in the effort of putting a basement in here, but one does exist. It's right here, and that's where all the animal noises are coming from. But yeah, eventually I want to turn this space into something like a foyer, an office, or something like that, just a way for me to easily get up into this building. Because right now I gotta like walk through the minecart tunnel and then up and around, and you know, it's kind of inconvenient. I prefer a more direct path, you know what I mean? That's looking pretty good so far, I think. I'm probably gonna put something on the outside of that to make it look a little prettier, but I'm liking this. I like how that looks. I like how there's finally something over there, you know? By the way, if you're watching this and you're like actually enjoying the video, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed, you know, like the video, because doing that stuff actually does help the channel grow. And I would really appreciate it if you did. Look at that. Now we have, I don't know, some kind of floor pattern here. I just realized I forgot to put a boat in here. I need to do that. There we go. I don't really have a good way to get down from here now. Oh! Alright. Dang! Yeah, sometimes you take damage if you fall in 1 block deep water. Back in the day, it wasn't always enough to shield your fall, you know? By the way, if you have seen some of my other videos, you may have noticed I have a tendency to re-explain things a lot, like explain my builds more than once, explain old bugs, mechanics, that kind of thing. The main reason for that is basically, like I may have told you before, but this stuff is not really common knowledge, and new people are watching the videos all the time. I don't want to leave them out of the loop. I try to keep it a little bit shorter than the first time I explain it, but I want everyone to be caught up with what I'm doing and how things work, even if that's the first video that they've watched from me. I hope that makes sense and you can understand, but I realize it might be a little bit annoying. Anyway, now that I'm kind of building this, I'm really starting to envision the final product, okay? So that story would be really cool if we had big glass windows for observation. You know what I mean? I think it would be pretty neat if you could stand there and you could see out this whole area. Then below, I want smaller windows. I want this whole thing to wrap all the way around, so it is probably going to combine into the terrain somewhat, and that's fine. So I want to build some pillars surrounding this and then windows behind that. So the way I'm going to space these suckers out, if it kind of goes like that, then that means I can really get all the way around here, right? Okay, this side over here, I feel like I should have a stairwell around here, so maybe about like that wide, come in. I don't have enough blocks to really fully trace this out. Something like that, you know, just something to walk up and down. It'll probably be a little bit deeper, but just there's an object there. And then I'm gonna have the rest of this wrap all the way around. The reason I'm laying it out like this is because I want to build the outside pillars out of stone slabs. And there's a little bit of trouble with stone slabs in alpha, so let me show you what I mean. If I place a slab, I get a slab. If I want to make a double slab, I can do that. If I break it, I'll only get one back. Stay with me here. So let's say I have a slab. Let's say there's a block above that slab, but I want this to be a double slab. It's impossible. Technically, you're placing on the block above this, just like how I placed that cobblestone. Only then does the game detect that you're placing a slab above this slab and then create a double slab block out of it. It kind of like sucks it down. If there's no space above that slab, it doesn't work. You can't place anything. The game will not allow it because that's just how it works. So that means if I want these pillars to be made out of smooth stone, that means I need to get them, start from the very bottom and build them all the way to the top without making any mistakes. And also I need to account for any future terraforming I might do, because I might knock down this hill a little bit. And if I do that and some of the pillars aren't deep enough, so that means there's dirt and stone and stuff underneath it, I will not be able to stack new slabs underneath that pillar because I'll run into that issue. I won't be able to make a full slab block. I'll have to destroy the entire pillar to place them all. And I don't want to do that. I'm going to dig foundation holes for all these pillars pretty deep so I don't have to run into that issue. Hopefully. But first, I'm pretty much completely out of stone, so I need to spend a little bit of time mining. Usually when I'm over here mining, I like to put a little video on my second monitor. It's just one of the ways I like to relax. And I decided I wanted to learn more about that mushroom I saw. So apparently it's called a pheasant back or a dryad saddle. Two really interesting names. Honestly, dryad saddle? I don't know who came up with that. That's pretty cool though. Anyway, it's pretty distinct. There aren't really many lookalikes that I can tell apart. It's supposed to taste like cucumber or watermelon rind, which I don't know what watermelon rind tastes like. Maybe it tastes like cucumber. But it's supposed to be really good, but you know, once you harvest it, you gotta start cooking it pretty soon after, because apparently it starts to dry out very quickly or something like that. So I watched some videos on how to prepare it, how to harvest it, how to prepare it, that kind of stuff. I feel like I should go try it out, you know? There were some pretty good sized mushrooms on that log. Also got myself another cup of this Gen Matcha tea. I'm like addicted to this stuff. It's so tasty. Perfect nighttime tea. My dad just texted me. Coincidentally, said it was morel season. Morel mushrooms. I've never had one, but I've always wanted to go hunting for them. My brother and my father had before, but neither of them like mushrooms, so I think they just wanted to see if they could do it. In any case, it's morel season, you know, late April, early May, and I feel like, you know what, I'm a little bit more interested in eating mushrooms and that kind of stuff, so I'm gonna try to go find some. Maybe I'll let you guys know how it went. Seems like an exciting little excursion. I've been watching some videos on how to identify them, where to look for them, that kind of thing. Never had them, but apparently, you know, everyone around me goes crazy for these things. Everyone goes hunting for morels during morel season. Here's a picture of one if you don't know what I'm talking about. Besides that, I don't really need all this dirt that I'm mining out, but I've made a habit to try to clear one chunk of these at a time. about to this level, just so I can get it out of the way. I get a little bit of stone, a little bit of dirt. That way I can knock out 2 tasks at once. I'm probably going to need an entire double chest worth of stone to do what I want to do with that building, which means I'm going to be mining for a very long time. That's okay. I don't mind it. Alright, I'm back finally. Mined tons of stone. It's the next day in real life. And I'm setting up the base of these pillars, and this is probably overkill, like how low this is. But better to be safe than sorry. I explained why I was doing this before, but it might not have made sense. So let me give a proper showcase. I feel like I have a hard time translating the thoughts in my head into English. Let me re-explain with the visual. Alright, so let's say, for whatever reason, I need this to go 1 block deeper. I underestimated where I wanted to terraform this little piece of land around the pillar, and I need it to be a little bit deeper. So let me go ahead and place a block underneath there. Oh, I can't do it. See, this slab needs a block of air above it in order to place a double slab. So let me remove this one. There we go. Now I can make my double slab. So let me replace the block that I just mined. Oh, can't do it. Let me move this one out of the way. Okay, now let me replace the one that I just broke. You get the picture, right? You have to keep doing that all the way up the pillar to entirely replace it. It's a pain in the butt. It's also a complete waste of stone slabs because when you mine a block, you only get 1 back. So it's a big waste of resources. That's why I'm trying to mitigate this entirely by starting these pillars from way down here. And I have little dirt guides that kind of show me where I need to be putting them under here. I'm starting to realize that I think before I have the entire design of this structure, I should probably consider terraforming the area around it completely first. You know, so I know what I want this building to actually look like and how it needs to kind of form into the terrain. Because right now I have no idea. Like, I'm about to go into this cliff, so that means I might have to dig that entire chunk out or not. I don't know. Not yet. Let me just do a few more of these. Okay, I'm out. I think I'm gonna leave that alone for now. Instead of working down here, I really should work in the front face of this building, just so I have some idea of what I want it to look like. Again, I really need to terraform this entire area to kind of get the full picture of how I want this building to blend into the landscape, but that is going to be a project for another day, so let me at least do, I don't know, like this side of the building? This side right here? I told myself when I made the channel that the focus of these videos wasn't going to be to, you know, pound out a single project in a week or do some absurd building challenge or do something crazy. You know, I was just going to take it at my own pace and enjoy the process and hopefully provide some relaxing content for you all to enjoy. Yeah, this isn't a grindy, challenge-based SMP type video. This is just relaxing alpha gameplay, talk about life, talk about tea. In this episode, I talked a fair amount about mushrooms. You'll be interested to know, or maybe not, I did go out and look for morels today after work. I went out there for about an hour and a half. I was told morels are basically supposed to grow... Oh. Wow. I didn't see that because it was just so dark. A little cave down here. Not bad. Might as well clear this place of its coal while I'm at it. But yeah, I was told morels are supposed to grow around dying elms, apple trees, where mayaples are, kind of like moist areas, that kind of stuff. But you know what else grows around dying elms, mayaples, and moist areas in the woods? Mosquitoes. Hundreds of thousands of them. Anywhere I walked in the woods today, I kicked up a massive cloud of mosquitoes, and thankfully they didn't seem like they were that hungry. They were kind of leaving me alone for the most part, but I probably saw hundreds of thousands just being out there for 2 hours. It was a bad time of year. They're in their prime. This is also when morels are in their prime, so, you know, I had to suck it up and keep looking. I didn't find any, unfortunately. That pheasant's back that I showed a picture of earlier in the video, I did go out and harvest that. I harvested 2 big ones, and then I took them inside, you know, washed them off, put them in a little Tupperware container to soak, and I checked back on it an hour later, and hundreds of tiny fungi gnat larvae had crawled out of the pores of the mushroom because I was flooding them, basically. So I decided I would just get rid of it. Don't really feel like eating fungi gnat larvae. I had to look up what those were. Really disgusting Google Images search. But yeah, I took that Tupperware full of water and the mushrooms, and then I went out back into the woods, and I spread a little bit of water over lots of different stumps. So maybe if I'm lucky, the spores that are left over in that water will blossom a little bit on those stumps, and it might spread the pheasants back around, and maybe the next time I go foraging for mushrooms, it won't be filled with bugs, but, you know, we'll see. Tomorrow after work, maybe I'll go and check a different part of the woods that I didn't look at before, but for now, I'm just gonna chill out and play Alpha Minecraft. Alright, I'm gonna run out of glass here. Yeah, not quite enough. Alright, let's take a trip down real quick. Ah, I didn't even try. Okay, well, I'm out of food. Anyway, I finished putting in all these post holes. They're pretty deep, so the post hole foundation is in place at least for this wall and that side wall. That's it. And then I went and I placed a line of stone every 4 blocks of space. That's kind of how I want the floors to be in this building. You know, I am really on a Gen Matcha kick. I've had it for 3 days in a row now. I've been like addicted to it. I was craving it all day at work. Anyway. Oh, it's not tempt fate anymore. This is kind of what I have at the moment. So this is what I was sort of envisioning in my head. These lines, these pillars, and then behind the pillars we have a line of stone and then glass. And then 2 floors would kind of open up into larger windows, and then we would go back into smaller ones. That was kind of my goal here. And I think it turned out pretty good. But I was looking at this a moment ago, like from an angle here. It's like kind of looking at it from this side, and it just looked like a giant block of stone slabs, you know, not that interesting. So I put all those buttons there that are at the same level as the floors with the stone right there. And that's not cheap. A button is 2 stone blocks in alpha, one on top of the other to make 1 button. So not the cheapest, but I think it was worth it. It looks pretty good. I actually do really like this design and how it turned out. And it will be fun to decorate, although I really, I don't think I have a purpose for every single one of these floors, that's for sure. I'll have to think of something. It also, you know, somewhere around here I wanted to put the stairwell, but I like how this outside of this building looks so much. I don't want to put a bulky stairwell. So far I think this is turning out pretty well. And I really need to go find something to eat, goodness gracious. Can't eat cows. I think I shoved some pork into some chests earlier. There we go. Nice, alright. We got a pretty good view from this little, I don't know what this is, hallway? Something like that? A promenade? Does that count as a promenade? I don't think so. It's a pretty nice view. And that's kind of like the rough sketch of what I want. So I'm thinking, and I have to break this to get through here. I'm thinking that I'm going to probably remove a lot of the landscape around this and maybe shape that mountain a little differently. I might cover the outside of this thing to make it look a little bit nicer. I like how the inside of that tunnel is curved, but I don't like how the outside is curved. Maybe I'll change it, maybe I'll leave it. We'll see. I think that structure is turning out pretty well. But that's really all I have time for this week. Like I said, the goal of the episode is not to start and finish a project. It's just to chip away a little bit and relax in my world. So hope you enjoyed it. But this is not going to be the end of the video, because I figured I've been getting a lot of questions. What mods do I use? How can I download or how can I play alpha 112_01 and play it like I do? Because some people it doesn't work for them, you know, whatever. So I can give you some tips that can show you how I play this version. First of all, I made a video about a year ago, a proper tutorial on how to download and play beta 1.7.3. Put a little marker up in the corner right now as a link to the video and in the description. Basically, that tutorial also works exactly the same pretty much for alpha 112_01. It's just a different version. But that video teaches you how to download Betacraft, it teaches you how to download multi-MC, teaches you how to download Java 8, which you will need to run it. And also there's an alpha instance in my Discord that you can download that has all the mods I use included. If you don't want to go look at the tutorial, let me just give you a quick rundown. First of all, I mainly use multi-MC. It allows you to organize different instances of gameplay. I have alpha 112_01 right here, but if I wanted to play beta 173, I can just click on this and hit launch. If I wanted to have multiple instances of beta 173, but with different sets of mods, I could. That's what these all are. You know, I have a lot of post-release versions down here. I just click and play if I really want to. I don't have to reorganize my mods folder anytime I want to do something. It's pretty helpful. You can download multi-MC from its website. You can add a new instance to multi-MC by hitting add instance. Scrolling down to the version of your choice. Now I have to select alphas to find it. It'll be at the bottom. A1.1.201. That's the one that I use. There's the last version before the Halloween update when they added biomes, the nether, and changed the textures. So you click that, select OK. So I just made a brand new instance. It's right here. Let me go to Edit Instance. So check your settings. You want to make sure that you've selected Java 8. Now I have multi-MC auto select Java 8. but you might have to manually select it. So check this box, look for auto detect. That might try to find all the different versions of Java you have in your machine. If not, you can browse and you can find it. The other thing I like to do within my own instance is use these two Java arguments. This Java argument allows me to see my own skin, and it downloads the correct sounds to the game. You may notice if you ever try to use the default launcher or just play Alpha 1.1.2 right off the bat, you might have some modern sounds instead of the proper old ones. So using this proxy, I can download the sounds from this server instead, the betacraft.uk server. This Java argument fixes this weird bug with shadows, item shadows in this version. I believe that's what that's for, I don't quite remember. I will post this one down in the description so you can copy and paste it into your own Java arguments box. Another one you can successfully play Alpha 1.1.2_01 is with the Betacraft launcher, which is super easy to download. You can get it at betacraft.uk. You got to sign in, you can create multiple instances just the same as MultiMC, but it's not as modder friendly. However, Betacraft has archived more versions than MultiMC. It's even archived more versions than the official default Microsoft sponsored launcher itself. I think MultiMC only has like one version of InDev, and the default launcher might not have any, or InfDev either, but this has a lot more archive versions. It even has Minecraft 4K. I believe this is the most comprehensive list. You can even find a PC Gamer demo in here, and the beta 1.2_02 dev version that was just discovered. It has those builder NPCs that Mojang experimented with for a little bit. But yeah, it's a great archive and comprehensive list of versions. So yeah, you can create an instance the same way, do new instance, let's call it alpha test, select it. The default is beta 1.7.3, but we're gonna select version, and we're gonna look for alpha 1.1.2_01. Per usual, we're gonna edit the instance and make sure that we're using Java 8, which you can find by hitting browse, but it should automatically select it. The Betacraft proxy that allows the old skins and sounds to be downloaded is already here. You can uncheck this box if you don't want to use it for whatever reason. But yeah, also have to sign into both launchers, but that's pretty much how I play Alpha 1.1.2_01. Anyway, I hope you found all that helpful. I've been Monster, and have a good night.